How we doing? Good. All right. Excited to get back at it. Certainly a fun road trip for us and the opportunity to go play a road opponent in the Big Ten. Pleased with the way our guys performed and excited the way they were able to handle business. And they've already started attacking this week. You had an opportunity to play a really good team. Coach Bielema has done an unbelievable job there at Illinois. He's a guy that I've followed throughout my career, even back to his days when he was at Iowa and Kansas State and Wisconsin as a young defensive coach. And then what he's been able to do there at Illinois is really impressive. I've always felt like watching his teams, they have a clear identity. They don't beat themselves. They play really hard. They're physical. I think all those things show up with this team as well. They're playing really good football right now. So certainly a fun challenge for us. And again, expecting our fans to make an impact on this game, make our environment really special like they have all season. I think that'll be a benefit to us as we step out on the field on Saturday.
Right, all right, Zach.
Sure, the shutout felt really good on Friday night. After watching the tape, how do you feel your defense played on Friday night?
Yeah, I think we had some really good moments. More proud of some guys upholding the standard when they got their opportunity to play. Sometimes games like that, you always want to give opportunities for guys to continue to develop and grow. And we had some guys that stepped in on the field that I thought played well when they got their opportunities. There's plenty of things though that looking at that game that we can go attack and improve on.
Back left, Pat.
Kind of touched on it a little bit, but what's been the difference from a 5-7 Illinois team last year to one that's in the top 20?
Well, I mean, they're doing an unbelievable job attacking the ball and protecting the ball. I think their quarterback's thrown one interception this season. I think they've had 8 picks on defense and caused 10 fumbles on defense. So they're a team that swarms. When you can win the turnover margin, you're going to have a lot of success. They've outrushed several of their opponents when you can win the physical battle up front as far as being able to move the ball. They're really sound in special teams, do a really good job in special teams, have dynamic returners. So I think all those things, they're playing really complementary football, and their quarterback's athletic. They have good wideouts, that do a really good job. So they are a balanced team, and when you have good balance, it's hard to take away a team's strengths.
Back right here.
Watching film, what do you think of Illinois' wide receivers, specifically Pat Bryant? I think he has almost half of their touchdowns for the year.
Yeah, I think they're really talented, but really both sides, at wide outside, for Bryant as well, Sakari Franklin as well. I mean, those guys are really talented players. They do a good job of utilizing their tight ends, so I think they have a good passing attack. And one of the things they probably, show that they can do the best is throwing the ball over the top. Right? They do a really good job on the 9 ball and the fade ball. Those guys adjust to it well, and they take shots down the field, which makes it a challenge.
Front left, James.
How similar is what Lunny's doing offensively to Will, given their crossover at UTSA?
Yeah, I think you see flavors, that fit. Similar. Obviously, they both come from a similar tree, and there's some pieces there that there's a little bit of carryover from what Will does for us and what Barry's doing there for them. But I also think there's some identity pieces that you can say, okay, you can see that's coming from the head coach, and I think all great offensive coaches do a good job of cherry picking things that their team does well and other things that people are doing across the league. So I would say that they've morphed a little bit from exactly who they were at UTSA before, just like Will's kind of morphed and our offense has morphed here at Oregon.
Left, middle, sure.
You mentioned Altmaier only had that one interception this year. Just where have you seen him grown, and what have you seen from him on tape?
Yeah, I just think he's a guy that causes a lot of issues with his athleticism and his ability. He's been able to extend plays. He's got, great feet, so he can run. I think that's always a challenge defensively when you're defending a guy that can also run and throw the ball extremely well. But he's been a good decision maker. You don't get to this point in the season and only have one interception and be a bad decision maker. So he gives his guys an opportunity to go make plays on the ball. I think they do a really good job calling a game for him and allowing him to play within the system. And then he does a great job with his feet when those opportunities are taken away.
All right, Zach.
Curious to give an update on Ferguson, Birch, and Bedford.
Yeah, wait as the season goes here and how the week goes to see where those guys are at and if they're available for us this weekend.
Back left, Pat.
Your thoughts on just their offensive line? Bielema was very high on Geske, their offensive lineman, said he maybe played his best game of his career. Just your thoughts on that matchup?
Yeah, I think again it goes. They have proven to be a physical team that's interested in making sure that they can establish the run. They do a great job of that, of keeping balanced, even when they've had times a hard time establishing it. They've always made sure they always go to it and they don't give up on the run game, and that's been something that's created a lot of success for them. But it's a group that plays really well together. You can tell they're in sync, and they do a really good job.
Front left, James.
17, Akis was conference defensive player of the week. Had a big game this past game, but it's done well all season. What makes him so disruptive in their defense?
Yeah, I just think if you just turn on the film, you see relentless effort from this defense consistently. You know, even when balls might get down the field on them, you see the way they chase the ball, attack the ball. You know, they're consistently attacking the ball, and you can tell they preach it. That's not something that happens on accident, and he's certainly one of those guys that does that.
Middle left, Jared.
You guys were ranked number one in the AP and the coaches poll. Just what does it mean for you as a leader of this program to bring it back to number one for the first time since 2012?
Who cares?
Back right, Aaron.
A new development we've seen on social media the last couple of weeks is the word blur. Can you give some more context just behind where the word blur came from and just kind of the origin of it and how you guys use it in your program?
I think we'd have to pull out Webster's dictionary here to figure out, the context. But for us, it's a deep ball that's connected, right? And I don't know where it started, but whenever we connect on one, that's what we pull out.
Front left, James.
Jog my memory here of exactly your relationship with Disher, because it goes back 20 plus years. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was living with y'all. He wasn't the last one in the Elizabeth Street house at the end when you were at Park Hill and he was at Kearney.
We never lived together, but we're really good friends. Went to college together. He went to high school with my wife, so certainly have known Robbie for a long, long time and stayed good friends throughout the profession. He's doing a really good job.
Back left, Matt.
How do you have your team not care about the number one ranking and avoid the discussion and the attention that comes with it?
I think it's really simple for us when our messaging hasn't changed the entire year. You don't sit halfway through a meal and say you're done eating when there's still a lot of food left on the plate. And that's where we're at. We're at the midpoint of the season. We're not done yet. There's a lot of things that we still want to accomplish. So that doesn't really matter for us.
Well, we got for you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.